Good evening, it's Melanie Bundock here. Welcome to Big Vision TV. This is episode 2 of season 2, and this whole series is sponsored by my online program, Create the Dream, where I help you to unlock your big vision, to help you get clear on your goals and dreams. And each week, I'm going to introduce to you a guest someone who is either living or moving towards their big vision, or somebody who has tools and techniques who can help you move towards your big vision. And just like last week, my guest this week has the perfect combination of both. Now, she's a friend of mine. I met her again in real life. It's always better when you meet people in real life. Last month, in California. And let me bring her on. Here we go. Her name is Emily Aarons. Now, I'm so glad. Can I just check, those of you who are watching, that you can hear me okay? Right, and here comes Emily. Emily, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Great. So this week has been seamless. Last week was a little bit, my nerves were going to shreds at this point because we had sound and technical issues, but it's all fine now. You can hear me, you can see me. Now let me just switch my light on. There we go, that's better.
That's the fun of being on live TV, is that people never know what they're going to get. So it's always fun.
And what I shared last week is, so afterwards I reflected, because so many people, I think, hold back on launching something or getting something out into the world because they're worried about it's not perfect, that it needs a bit more polishing, a bit more tweaking. Let me just work on it a little bit longer. And I actually shared that, do you know what? I've always had a dream of having my own talk show. No, I don't have a fancy studio. Yes, I do my own hair and makeup. And I even joked on my Instagram post that if you listen closely, you could probably hear my children screaming upstairs. However, none of that has stopped me from launching my talk show. And each season will get a little bit better and perhaps a little bit fancier. So what are your thoughts on that, Emily, on, people just doing things imperfectly?
That's the name of the game. Honestly, I am all about imperfect action. And in fact, my sweet little 3-year-old is sleeping in the room, like right behind me. So I'm hoping that he stays asleep until we're done. However, on the plus side, if he does wake up, he will probably be singing the Greatest Showman song. So we have that. That's also a good thing. So yeah, imperfect action is the only way to do it. I think when you have a divine download, you have information that's coming in and you're like really inspired and excited, that's when you want to take action. And you don't want it to be perfect. I would rather see imperfect action than absolutely everything done perfectly.
Yeah, so I kind of joke that version 1 is always better than version none.
Yes, totally. Or imperfect action is still action. It's all good.
Exactly. So if anybody is out there right now, you're sitting on something, I hope that, each week as you watch this show, my intention is for you to take action on bringing your big vision to life. So Emily, let's talk a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about, I know I shared in the introduction of this post, but tell us in your own words about what you do.
So I am most well known as an intuitive healer or a spiritual teacher. I call myself a psychic business coach. And what I do is I work directly with entrepreneurs who are looking to soulfully scale their business, that maybe they've tried other people's programs or courses and it's like not quite working for them. And they're learning how to really get in tune with their own cycles and rhythms and the universe and really open up intuitively to start using that to scale their business. And what I see are insane results of people who maybe have been really off track and really in their fear and worry, and helping clear them energetically and get them on their path. They start to skyrocket, and it's really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's amazing. And when we spoke offline, I think it's about a week or so ago, I was listening to Emily's story, and it was very spookily similar to my own. Because I've come from a therapy background, working one-to-one with clients, doing reflexology, Reiki, for a long time from my own home, then working in a clinic setting. And I think there are a lot of people, and yeah, tell us a little bit about that part of your life, Emily, because I love how there's quite a mirror here that's been going on with our work.
Oh, totally. I was in a brick and mortar for the most of my professional career. I was a massage therapist and energy healer, and I was just doing, seeing one client at a time, and always wanting to do more. And yet, I was constantly trading my time for money. And it really wasn't until I had my son that I realized my time was so valuable, and I wanted to be at home, and I wanted to be really present in his life. And it wasn't working for me. And I really wanted to start, honestly, contributing more financially to my family. I think my husband was a little bit frustrated, and I really I couldn't help. I couldn't do more. So when I started to realize I need to do more, I just started to pray, and I started to ask God for a sign, for help, for some direction, because the way I had been running my business and making money for 15 years is exactly what kept me broke. And I had all these other entrepreneurial friends who were just like you, who were Reiki healers or reflexologists or acupuncturists or whatever. And we were all kind of like leading each other down this path and just not getting anywhere. And I started realizing, well, I have to start doing things differently. I just don't know what that is. And praying for help came. And soon my business model started to change. And I started to help people in a bigger way, which now is my whole business. I've closed my brick and mortar entirely.
Yeah, exactly the same, identical. And I think when you are doing that one-to-one business model, and particularly when you are doing something so hands-on like healing, you kind of think, well, how can I possibly take this, out of the bricks and mortar space? How can I serve one-to-many? Now, so what was the next step for you, Emily?
The next step for me was I joined online course, Business by Design, which is where we met, funny enough, right? And when I was in this course, it was like the first week, and I was in the beta round, so it wasn't perfect. His course was like really clunky. Now it's beautiful. But it was like I would get these little nuggets of information, and it would just like, it's like all of a sudden all the lights turned on. Now I have a business degree. It's like I had sort of this knowledge base, and I mean, I had won a business plan award. So the business plan that I got, it was like, that was what was keeping me broke. So I knew I had to do things differently. And in that course, I started to realize different things I was just totally doing incorrectly in my business. And once I started making these very tiny changes, it's when everything started to shift. And I started to ask my customers, like, the people who come to me all the time for healing work, I would ask them, I'm going to start rebranding. Is there something that I haven't offered you yet that you would really like from me? And just by shifting from, I think I know everything, I'm going to offer you this special thing. And by the way, I'm going to discount 30% off because I think that works. That's a whole nother story. People wouldn't buy. But then once I started to ask my clients, what was it that you feel like is missing or that you would really like from me? All of them were saying, when we sit down, we talk and we do a little of that coaching and you talk, it's so helpful. And I would love if we could try just a session of that. Not that your healing work isn't great, because it's amazing and I would never go to anyone else, but I would love to try something else. And that's when my coaching business was born. And after that, I started to see this demand for meditation, and the offering for meditation actually came to me while in meditation. And I guess I can go right into that story, because meditation is my primary vehicle for how I do all my business now. That first signal I got, I was in a meditation and I got this cue to offer this 6-week intro to meditation for entrepreneurs class. I was like, okay, I can do that. So when am I going to offer it? And they said, well, you're going to offer it tonight at 8 p.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I felt like all my guides and angels were speaking to me directly, but I was scared because I wasn't ready to launch anything. I didn't have anything prepared. I had no PDFs. I had no beautiful Canva images to put on social media. And yet here I was, and they gave me the price point and like every detail that I needed to know just to get it out there.
Yeah.
So my heart was racing, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I posted it on Facebook and Instagram. I took my dog outside for a walk. I needed fresh air because I was so petrified that I was about to put an offer out there that just came to me through a vision and meditation. I had never done anything like that before. And yet I felt like it was the right thing to do. And I finally walked enough where I talked myself out of doing it. And I thought, okay, so I can just delete the Facebook and Instagram post like it never happened. No one ever saw it. Like, poof, it's just going to be gone. Nobody needs to know anything. And I'll just, go back to business as usual and pretend like nothing happened. But the interesting thing that happened was just about back to my house, I saw a little ladybug on my banister. And what that signaled to me was I have a dear friend who passed away. Whenever I see a ladybug, it's a connection to her. And so as soon as I saw that, it was like everything in me was like, you have to do it. You have to do it. Who are you not to do it? So what if you put it out there and like, just try? And so it took everything in me to move forward and to put that out there. But that was literally the first time that I could work with multiple people at the same time instead of one-to-one. And that 6-week meditation group was so successful, it carried on for an entire year. It was, I could have never expected that. I could have never planned it. It's just something that flew through me just by taking notes and getting divine inspiration, I guess.
And I can't, again, I don't think I shared this with you, but almost identical thing happened to me. And actually, before I continue, Emily's actually going to talk us through a little mini guided meditation at the end of this broadcast. So do hang around to experience some of this for yourself. Now, I was at a stage in my business, and it was only 2 years ago where a little more than 2 years ago now, where I prayed, and it was kind of at that stage where I had to make a decision in my business. Am I supposed to be doing this? Do I go big with this? Or I was literally at the verge of, do I get back onto the train into London, back to my corporate career? It was that much of a crossroads. And the answer came to me in a guided meditation. So after my meditation, because one of my meditations, I simply like to sit, get quiet, and just ask myself, what is my next step? What is my next step? Just a little mantra in my head. And I was on holiday in France at the time, and literally pen went to paper, and I downloaded my online course, the 8 modules. Literally the pen just wouldn't go fast enough, and there, tapping into abundance was born. And I think when we are faced with kind of problems or dilemmas, or the answers often within us, really always within us. Yeah. To find that quiet space to access that. Would you agree?
I completely agree. And that's something that I say constantly, which is that you have everything you need. You just need to learn how to access it. And that's the key. And that's what I teach with my one-on-one clients, with my group clients, with my meditation membership. It's what I love to talk about, because as entrepreneurs, especially, we are kind of programmed to think that there's like somebody's special, strategy out there that we have to learn how to use. And once we learn how to use that, then boom, 6 figures all day. Everyone's making money. It's going to just start raining money. And it's almost like I was in the habit, I don't know if you were too, but I was in this habit of like looking around like, oh, what are they doing? Like maybe that one thing that they're doing is the one thing I'm missing. And once I start doing that, I'll be totally making money too.
Yeah. And so it was last month. I want to talk about my experience with Emily now. So this mentor that we're both talking about is none other than James Wedmore, who happens to be, funnily enough, next week's guest on Big Vision TV. So we're going to be talking. So, James, if your ears are burning, we're talking about you behind your back. So, I was at James's event last month, Business by Design Live, Next Level Live, the mastermind big group coaching program, and you were kind of like the special guest of the 2 days, and it was so lovely to have this kind of going to a business conference, but I don't think we really discussed anything businessy. It was all mindset and meditation, and it was just so lovely. So Emily led the meditation, and I can't remember the exact the meditation, but it was about kind of talking about your big vision and the big goal that you have for your life. Now, I'm totally know what my big vision is. I have my vision boards here. I visualize my goals daily, morning and night. Now, when Emily led us through this meditation, I accessed the same vision again, but this time it was bathed in like a megawatt golden light. So it was like seeing everything through a gold lens. And so this extraordinary feeling came over me, and I actually went and told you afterwards. So what does that mean?
And I love these questions because there's always a meaning. There's always something bigger. So one thing that I have to share with you is, and I guess with your audience too, is that when I do any kind of work, whether it's previously recorded guided meditations or in person, I'm fully channeling and I'm holding the space with divine guidance and source healing. So one, you're receiving a ton of energy work. So as an energy healer, I've been trained, you've been trained as an energy healer. So there's a ton of energy healing that's coming through the work that I do. So that's one thing. The second thing is when you're seeing gold light, it usually is a blessing from source, from your guidance. And that megawatt, you want to tap into how you feel. Because I don't know if you guys who are on, let me know if you guys feel too. Do you feel chills on your body when she said this? Could you envision the power? Could you feel the magnitude? Because I can. And what that tells me is it's almost like you're dialing up the switch and you're making it more true. Yeah. So you can vision something, but when you go through like a guided journey, like the things that I work with clients on, what you experienced was instead of just like seeing your vision board, you had a visceral reaction to it. Every cell in your body was ignited and lit up. And we know what happens when your body is ignited. And like scientifically, when you're ignited like that and everything is lit up, you become like an ultra super magnet to receiving it. And that's what you want to feel. So and I know you do energy work with your vision board building as well. So it's like, that's the special sauce. When you can energetically start to feel and connect to it and you're like amplified, it's like game over. It's coming. So I guess that's my answer to you, which is it's touched by God, touched by angels, whatever you want to look at it. But it's also your energy is magnified by having felt that experience. It's different than just like walking by your board and like going, there's my vision. Yeah, it's totally. A feeling.
Yeah. Well, when I do my visualizations every morning, it's nice, but it's not bathed in a golden light. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And I think that's the power of doing meditation or going on guided meditations and those kinds of visualizations is because, you know, a lot of people say like, well, I can't meditate or I tried and I just can't get there. And there was that guy who we met who was at the event. He's like, I don't meditate ever, but like I followed that visualization and like I got a ton of information and now I'm changing how I'm marketing to my particular avatar. Like I hear that constantly because it's different when you can really connect that energy. When you're using meditation in your business, it's like, it's so much more powerful than brainstorming and like asking other people, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's the latest strategy? You're going from such a deep place. And that's what we were all tapping into at that event.
Yeah. And, you know, talking of energy and business, you know, when I was kind of doing a bit of research of my own, so many successful business owners, you know, billionaire business owners, you know, not even just online entrepreneurs, but people you would have heard of like Oprah, Richard Branson has talked about kind of, meditation. Gary Vaynerchuk has talked about meditation. It's not, I think sometimes meditation has a bit of a bad image. Got a bit of an image problem, that you got to be a lentil munching vegetarian, sitting under a tree and growing dead dreadlocks or something. And it's, who else has talked about? Rupert Murdoch, big billionaire media tycoon. He's talked about doing transcendental meditation. So I think it's just more people talking about it. I think Oprah, I don't know if she still does it now, but there was a stage where she was getting all the staff in her office to meditate 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon, because she wanted all her staff, all her team, all her employees to be experiencing the benefits of meditation. And I think you touched upon it just now, Emily. There are so many different types of meditations out there. I think there's a style to suit everyone, but for beginners, I think guided visualizations or meditations are probably the easiest, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm personally a very visual person. So when I started practicing meditation with my teacher, we would do the whole, like, we would chant mantra and then we'd go into silence and just feel into the energy. And that's great. But for me as an entrepreneur, I want to feel like I'm also being really productive. So what started happening in my meditations, I would start getting these really amazing hits of information. And I would be like, all right, let me just make a note of that. Or I would start using my voice memo on my phone to record information coming through, even though I wasn't trying to get it, just because I was opening in such a way. It was like, all of a sudden I was flooded. Like, when you take a shower and you get your best ideas in the shower, it's because your energy just shifts. When you're out of the focus of like trying to do something, it shows up. And I really like guided meditations because you can kind of get into the energy in a way where you don't feel like you're trying to. So I would say, I mean, I had so many people at that event come up to me every single day telling me how effective it was. And I lost count. I mean, I don't know what percentage, I would say like 99%. Most of the people there who experienced the meditation, they were coming up to me every single moment and saying how effective it was. And the thing about guided meditations and visualizations is that you can go into such a deeply profound place. And when your energy is in that space and you can relax, your energy starts to expand and you start to open up to so many new possibilities. And when you come back in with this, like, so much has just happened in that time frame, you lose actual track of time. Time and space kind of blend. And the one meditation that we did, we were out for over 20 minutes. And when I said that, everyone's literally looking at their watches and their phones like, is she serious? That was like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it does. Time does bend. It really does. And yeah, I just would love everybody watching today to give it a go. So in a minute, Emily's going to guide us through a guided visualization. What are you going to do for us, Emily? So I kind of put you a little bit on the spot this evening.
I know. I feel like, so, I mean, I know we're talking a lot about connecting with our soulmate clients, but I think more than anything, I would love to do just a 1 minute meditation, because there are so many people who put off meditating because they feel like they don't have the time.
Yeah.
And I was one of those people too. And I was like, just another thing that I want to do, but like never get to it. And the thing that I always like to encourage people to do is a 1 minute meditation, to start a daily practice with 1 minute in mind, because
everybody's got a minute, haven't they?
We all have a minute. It doesn't matter if you're on the toilet or if you're, going to bed or just waking up or cooking dinner, whatever. We all have a minute. So, all those excuses just kind of get blown out when you say it's just 1 minute. So I would like to set a timer and do 1 minute meditation, because again, it just gives you permission to have something that you can start to do each and every day. And if you can start doing it 1 minute every single day, and maybe you get up to a full week, maybe you'll start to build on that. Maybe it's 2 weeks. That's exactly how I started meditating. I would keep track every single day I did it. And, it could be like the end of the day. I'm like, oh, I didn't do my meditation today. And then just meditate for 1 minute. Like, oh, yeah. I did it.
Now, in terms of my meditation practice, I would say that I'm inconsistently consistent, that every day I do something, but I do something a little bit different. I think I get bored of the same thing. Some days I quite fancy a chanting meditation, something quite simple. Other days it's just like I said earlier, just to ask myself quietly, what is my next step? What is my next step? Sometimes I like to listen to the binaural beats meditation. Yeah. Sometimes I'll listen to a 30-minute guided meditation. It just depends what I fancy that day. Do you have a particular practice, Emily?
I'm right there with you. I do a little something different every day, depending on what my day looks like and my energy level. If I'm in a launch, if I'm selling something in my business and I'm, open up for bringing in more people, I do a particular type of meditation for that, versus if it's like an everyday thing. And, my nightly ritual is to do a gratitude meditation practice. So as I'm going to bed, and I sort of count my gratefuls instead of counting sheep. I think of all the things that I'm really deeply grateful for, and I sink into that emotion. I get really present and just sending gratitude, and that's kind of how I drift off to sleep. But I think that's a great point that, a lot of people think that they have to sit for, 10, 20, 30 minutes to meditate or it doesn't count. And some people who have gardens, like my husband's a gardener, but he's not a meditator. However, when he's out in the garden, his energy is so open and he's so focused and he's so present, and that's meditation. It's also running. It's cooking.
Yes.
You've had time when you're just catching up with a good friend and you're just so present in the moment and it feels really good. And you're really in your joy and your bliss. That's, you can look at all these different areas, and really the whole point of why we're meditating is to bring us back here into the present moment. And so whatever brings you there, I think counts. And I don't know, I just want to share that with people. So
let's do this.
Let's do it. Let's do it. 1 minute. Okay, I got my timer ready to go.
Obviously, if anyone's driving or anything like that, don't do this. Come back and watch the replay. So if you're in a place where you can participate, then it's only 1 minute. So everyone's taking responsibility for their own well-being right now.
Yes, please do that. And I'm glad you prefaced that. And I will share with the audience, I do have a free meditation that they can download if they want to do a little bit more visualizing. There is an abundance meditation that they can do. It's just tapping into the universal flow of abundance, which is a great one. And I have a bunch of them on my website, but this one, we're just going to do 1 minute and we'll just have fun. I'm not going to do any crazy visualizations. We're just going to be breathing. Okay.
Yep. We'll get the link up in a moment. So Emily has a free download, which the link will, there we go. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa's posted up the link to the comments there. So tell us about Little North Farm quickly.
Oh, well, so Little North Farm is my backyard farm. And so yeah, you'll see that when you see my lead pages. That's my backyard farm. We're certified organic chicken farmers. We sell organic eggs and produce. They're
the most high vibe eggs ever.
They are. They're awesome. We sell chicken eggs and duck eggs.
Oh, I love it.
The farmer is my alter ego. That's what people start to know.
There we go. So there is the link. So it's a little bit long, but it's in the comments. So if you click on that, you'll get access to the free download. There we go. There we go. That's in the comments. So, okay, right. I'm ready. Is everyone else ready for them?
Let's do our 1 minute. Okay. So if you are not driving, close your eyes and we'll start. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Start to open up through the crown of your head, imagining bright white or golden light coming down from the top of your head, coming all the way down, washing down your face, your neck, your shoulders, down your chest, your torso, down your hips, down your upper legs, down your lower legs, down to your feet. And use your breath to wash that over you again. So nice deep breath in. Let that bright magnify, get that light even brighter. Exhale, let it wash down over you. Inhale, let that light magnify. Exhale, let it wash over you. Releasing all tension, stress, or strain from your body. There is our timer. Let that, I was just going to say, let the stress wash away from you, releasing all tension, stress, or strain from your body, your system. And when you're ready, come back, open your eyes. 1 minute goes by really fast. So we didn't even fully relax our body in that time, if you think about it.
Oh, please.
Right. And so most of my meditations, I start with holding the space energetically. So what I'm doing is all my meditations, I'm open up to source healing, source energy. So you'll feel that whether you're with me live like this or an event, or if you're listening to one of my meditations. So you're bringing that beautiful source energy. You're letting go of the things that don't serve you. So if nothing else during your day, like things bother you, right? Like everything isn't perfect all the time. So if nothing else, set your timer after something just happened and just breathe and let things go. Let it wash over you, release anything that doesn't serve you, and come back right where the present moment is, because you always have a choice. You can, and that's another thing that meditation gives you. It gives you the option. So you can choose to spin off into having a tailspin of like how stressed out your day is and what that jerks, they cut you off in traffic and, you know, somebody hasn't paid you yet and blah, 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 blah. Or you can have that space to reflect and choose the direction you want to go. Okay, well, I can stay here in this present moment where I'm actually pretty happy. Things feel pretty good. Life is nice. Or I can go off. It gives you that space to make the choice. Which I particularly love doing.
It's perfect. I love it. And I love what you said there about that. Yeah, we do. We're human beings. Things annoy us. We get stressed. You know, as enlightened and high vibe a person you can be, you can lose your temper when someone cuts you up in traffic. But and you know, I'm really big into the whole mind-body connection and how that can have its impact on our bodies as well. But equally, I'm fully aware that it's impossible, unless you are a monk living on an island somewhere, you're going to have day-to-day stress. And what I've kind of come to understand is that the way to counteract that is by having the counterbalance of the soothingness in your life, the things that bring you inner peace and joy and contentment and, you know, fun and laughter. And you've got to kind of take a good look at your life. And if you're in a constant stressiness, you know, what balance of your life is there that's, you know, soothing you and nourishing you and uplifting you, and to make sure that the balance is firmly in the favor of the soothe, comfort, feel good.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, is that people really don't take into consideration is how they deal with their stress. And you might have asked these questions when you were doing more hands-on healing too, but when I would have new clients, I would ask them, how are you currently dealing with your stress? Yeah. And a lot of them were caught off guard. Like, I mean, I'm here, but I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, and a lot of it, and I like to kind of address this as well, because some people, you know, their way of like relaxing is, well, you know, I'll have a glass of wine, or I will, you know, just zone out on Netflix, or I will just do something to numb myself rather than the soothing, which is actually more present. And, you know, wine and Netflix, nothing wrong with that, but isn't the long-term answer.
Right. And really what happens in our body, you know, when you're having that stress, you're sending those hormones, the cortisol, into your body, and stress hormones can trigger all sorts of disease. And so if we're not actually dealing with that level of stress and the cortisol that's flushing into our body, into our bloodstream every single day, it's like we can be overwhelmed with sickness and all kinds of other issues. So meditation has been medically proven over and over again, with so many studies that show how meditation not only helps you physically in your health, it helps you mentally. I mean, across all spectrums, just even simple exercises like we just did, just the 1 minute, it changes your composition, it changes your brain, it changes your frequency, and it can change your DNA. I mean, it's so powerful.
And the thing is, a meditation, it transcends religion as well. It underpins all the religions, I believe. You know, every major religion has its kind of meditation practice. So there must be something there when when things transcend religion, you know, there must be something in it.
I agree. I always say that prayer is asking and meditation is listening.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's wonderful. So Emily also has, let me just find the details here. You have a membership, don't you? There we go. Emily.com. It's coming as a little banner under the screen.
I know,
I love all these new features. It's just like whoop whoop. So there you go to Emily. So tell us a little bit about your group, Emily.
So my group is called Mastery and Ascension, and the group is for primarily entrepreneurs who are looking to soulfully scale their business. They're looking to connect on a deeper level, whether they're starting their meditation practice or they're just starting to take it a little bit deeper. And it's a live session with me every single month where I fully channel energy, sort of like a forecast, like the monthly forecast ahead. And I do a Q&A and I give a meditation and a little bit of energy clearing in there. Plus they get access to previously recorded energy clearings and meditations and, you know, visualizations as well. It's an awesome place to be right now. It's been building up momentum. I just opened it in the beginning of September, and I've really just been seeing so many people join and loving it and saying like the most positive things about the guided meditations and how they can still feel the energy really present in them. Plus there's a component of the community, and the community is so powerful that, you know, as you're learning how to do this deeper work, you have that support. And it's so nice to be able to have sort of a place where you don't feel like a weirdo when you're asking questions like, why did I see this golden light in my vision? And there was a woman who was saying she saw an elephant really vividly a couple times. And, you know, we were talking about spirit animals and what do animal totems mean, and looking up the elephant, it's like it deepened what the message was that came to her through the meditation. So it's like a really safe community where you can start to explore your spirituality, but also use it as a business tool. I love it.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Emily. Now, viewers cannot see right now, but Emily is quite heavily pregnant and due to give birth any day now. So I just want to wish you so much luck with the forthcoming new arrival. And I did say that I said to Emily, you know, it's any day now, since she said yes. And I said, please just hold off for the next hour.
Yeah, not now. Don't have the baby now, but it could be a really great episode if I were to go into labor.
Yes, it could viral, wouldn't it? Well,
totally. Right.
Some people are actually live streaming their births now. I'm guessing you've got no plans for that.
I don't. I actually hadn't thought. It's like I do so much live video. I hadn't even thought about doing a live stream of my birth. That's kind of like a private thing. So yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
Well, good luck with it. And good luck with the new arrival, Emily. And yeah, and thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me, Melanie. And thank you for everybody in your community for opening up for me to join and to connect with me. It's so nice to meet you all and to see you here.
Oh, thank you, Emily. See you soon. Okay, so thank you so much, Emily, for joining me today. Now, as I said, this whole series, this whole season, Big Vision TV, is all about helping anyone out there who may have an inkling of a vision, of a dream, that's something they want to get started with. Perhaps you were like myself and Emily a few years ago, that you may be working one-on-one with clients, and maybe you're ready to scale, maybe you're ready to do bigger things. If you are, then you want to check out next week's episode with the one and only James Wedmore, this time next week. So James is both mine and Emily's mentor. So next week we'll be joined by James Wedmore. But if this is all really new for you, you're in the early stages and you don't know what your dream or vision is, then this whole season is sponsored by my online program, Create the Dream. And you can find out What? There we go. Let me just, so I'm just trying to show you, but I can't right now. Anyway, it's meant to be all fancy. If you go to melaniebundock.net/create the dream, you can find out all the details of my own online vision board program, where I'll help you bring your big vision to life and to help you plant those seeds of your big vision. And with tools like meditation and mindfulness, you know, you really can take your life, your business anywhere you want it to go. There really are no limits. The only limit are the ones that you place on yourself. And with meditation, mindfulness, you can really clear those blocks and, you know, skyrocket that vision. So thank you for joining me this week. Have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you next week on Big Vision TV. Take care. Bye for now.